Hello, this is Orly. Welcome. This is my series, Should I Become a Teacher? This is video number 2. How do I know if I will enjoy teaching children? Will I enjoy teaching under a bureaucracy in a school or in a school district? Before I begin, please hit the subscribe button and the like button below. This will allow me to provide continuing videos in this series. Some might say that what I'm going to be telling you is negative or jaded or pessimistic. That's not my goal at all, and I don't think that's what my perspective is. My perspective in this video is to help you decide whether you want to become a teacher. And the reality is, especially in public school districts, that there is a lot of bureaucracy and mandates, and that if you enjoy teaching children in general, you also need to know if you will be able to do that navigating around satisfying these requirements. Now, in general, as most of us know, at most jobs, managers have rules and procedures that they must enforce. Managers support and monitor their employees. The goal of managers is to make sure that the mission of the organization is accomplished and that there is service and satisfaction of the clients and customers of the organization. Schools and school districts theoretically should have the same setup. Student learning should be the goal of the organization, and guiding and supporting teachers to accomplish that goal, as well as student achievement, should be the role of managers. But this ideal is many times not the reality in public schools and public school districts. In fact, often their actual goals and mechanisms are not the ideals mentioned above at all. What you do in your classroom is often heavily micromanaged from many levels of bureaucracy. One difference between the ideal and what often happens is that federal, state, county, and city educational establishments all put in their 2 cents, mandating rules, procedures, etc. Another difference between the ideal and the real is that professors of education at universities publish studies they've done. These professors often advocate for social justice and political activist goals unrelated to education and learning. This is not to say that those goals may or may not have intrinsic value in society, but they, as I say, are unrelated to education and to learning. All of the influences I've mentioned trickle down to the classroom, and the teacher and students are micromanaged to implement all of these mandates and other items, making the classroom, in large part, a social justice laboratory. Yes, it is still a place for learning, but a large part of the activities that go on in the classroom are mandated, trickle down from all these bureaucracies, and don't directly affect the learning going on between the teacher and the students. Let me just interject here that the reason teachers are licensed by the state, theoretically, is that they can be placed before a chalkboard or whiteboard as their only tool for a group of students, and their license demonstrates they have the training and ability to look at the state standards and design and implement instruction. That presupposes that the teacher can do everything from A to Z. Unfortunately, large organizations and bureaucracies like schools and school districts, especially public ones, don't allow teachers to do much of that. There are scripted programs in reading, learning English, math, etc., as well as content being mandated. Getting back to the original question, whether you want to become a teacher, the question in this video is, will you be able to do that under the what I call micromanaging of the school and the school district? Some people who love children and love to learn, to help children learn, will say no. They can't deal with the burden of that bureaucracy and micromanagement. Others will say they love teaching children so much that they can navigate, negotiate, and maneuver, as well as satisfying and obeying the various mandates. They don't have a problem with it. This is the decision you have to make as an individual. Whether, even if you think you'd be a good teacher in general, you can, to be frank, handle so much other stuff that's required of you and going on in the classroom. In general, teaching in such a setting requires a teacher to be a champion of their students and their families when going up the chain to principals, other administrators, district officials, etc. Teachers are trusted by students and families to have their best interests in mind and to speak up for them in order for management to continue to keep in mind what the students and families need. This is a different role than instruction. It's an advocacy role, and it at times can be slightly adversarial, and that can be uncomfortable. It's not in the classic job description for teachers, and you're perfectly in your right to say you don't want to deal with it. But this is a question you have to think about and decide for yourself. I want to finish by saying teaching is a very good profession. It's an amazing profession. I've had students come back and tell me that I taught them to read. They would have never read without me. I've had teachers tell me that I've given them support, these are colleagues, and that I really made a difference being on their team at their grade level or something like that. So there are lots of student achievement in test scores or grades rewards and successes that make teaching worthwhile, even with this advocacy role. It's not all negative. Well, I wish you all the best in your journey in deciding whether to become a teacher, if it's for you. I hope this video has been helpful to you in giving you some information and ideas that you may not have thought about. Please see the next videos in this series for more information to help you on your journey to become a teacher. Best wishes for now. Bye-bye.